that usually I'm asking stupid questions, and he's bearing with me. But we're really doubly blessed to have him here because, first of all, you know, he's in Medina County, and he is the guy in the state of Ohio for this industry, and he knows more about it than I know about fishing and hunting combined. But secondly, he is unbelievably responsive, takes my calls. I think New Year's Eve, or the day before New Year's Eve, 8 o'clock, we were talking, whatever it was. So to have that combination in one person, we're just blessed, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you, and I appreciate your leadership on that process. Yes, sir.
Dave, are you getting, or perhaps also Dave and Adam, are you getting a ton of anti-fracking calls, emails?
My office being
or are
chair.
you getting supportive?
We're actually, it's when you get the calls and emails, we get those calls on there, and it's more of what people were able to see on the internet. And I want to tell you a little story about that. My great-grandparents, you know, that's been a long time ago. They lived in a farm in rural Ohio, and they lived in a long farm lane, and they told me this. I'll never forget this story. They said, I remember when they brought this new thing in called electricity. And they brought it down, and we had heard from neighbors and people at church that this thing was going to blow up our house. It was going to burn us down, and you're going to have problems. Well, my great-grandparents told me they slept in the barn for a week because of the unknown until they realized there are certain codes and standards. You are going to have problems in any industry and everything else. And what I explained with the emails and calls, it's just, I'm a factual guy. I want to base everything on facts. When you sit down and talk, and it's hard talking to millions of people one-on-one on the process. So the speaker is allowing me to go on the road tour to get in front of this thing and help in the education process. And in that process of the, you know, we get a lot of people saying, hey, I got a job from this industry. Uncle Ed got one, received a job from that. Those same people maybe emailed me 2 months before and hated it, but they're starting to see their family getting jobs. And I look at this and I talk to these people and I say, you know, God blessed us with putting this stuff underneath us. Folks, how many times do we have an opportunity to go after reserves underneath us? It's it's Ohio oil under Ohio soil. It will create jobs for people we've been waiting on. Jobs I remember we celebrated when we used to have a $500,000 company. Companies invest $500,000 to Ohio. We were happy. We love those kinds of jobs. When we have companies now wanting to put billions into Ohio, folks, I mean, we're recovering our natural resources in a responsible level. We're creating jobs. And the big thing is we're not buying it from people who hate us. Think about that. We have reserves under here, and what I ask you as a group, people in the economic background, is, you know, you're going to be the one who's going to have to help us. I'm only an individual. You're going to have to put the word out there about the job creation and what we're looking at. I'm going to be working with some town hall meetings and some events with the commissioner here in Medina County, and I expect that there's going to be a lot of those meetings. You know, this is a friendly crowd here. There's going to be meetings where they're going to come after me, but I'm going to go on facts. What we have out there. It's the fear-mongering out there, the what-ifs. You know, if our country was based on, you know, when we grew as a country and we were on the what-if thinking process back in the early stages of our country, where will we be? We need to move forward on a factual base with reserves under our ground. But in the same boat, I'm not going to lie down and say, let's not look at the other technologies on wind and solar. What this does is gives us a bridge with our energy resources, and you'll see your natural gases prices aren't going to be spiking because of what's going on with this drilling. And you know, the process is these companies are looking at Ohio, want to be in Ohio, want to create jobs in Ohio, and everyone's saying, well, we're seeing a lot of Texas license plates. Oh, what's that all about, Oklahoma? But these people are the beginning stages, and the governor said to me and many of us, I don't want any foreigners working here full-time in Ohio. And I thought, well, foreigners? And he said, people out of the state of Ohio. So, I mean, governor wants to create jobs and wants business in here, and there is not a day go by that a major company is calling my office saying, Ohio, we want to be in Ohio. Folks, we haven't had that in a long time. They want to be here, spending dollars, investing in resources here. But the thing about it is, you're going to have people who are going to say, no, no, no. My job is to help educate and support people out there who want to help educate. And if someone has a greater plan out there, an idea that a greater technology, I want to listen to these people. I mean, we are already talking to other groups out there that are saying, hey, I think I can do that. Well, that's spurring somebody to use that, invest some of their dollars and thinking, well, maybe I can use something to work on recycling brine, or using another process of hydrofracturing on air fracturing or carbon fracturing. So there's a lot of things happening with the technology, and as things change, that's my job to make sure I'm up with those standards. Yes?